Thank you for visiting the channel. So today I'm here to talk about what do you do when your prayers go unanswered? When God doesn't answer your prayers, when you don't see it come into fruition. So I have a couple of biblical scriptures here that talk about that. So the first one is James 4:3. It discusses asking amiss, highlighted that some prayers may be unanswered due to misalignment with God's will or improper motives. A second scripture reference is John 5, verse 14 through 15, assures believers that God hears their prayers and will respond according to his will. I've been there, done that. Being a Christian doesn't mean, or it doesn't mean that you're spared, like everything you pray for is going to come to pass. It doesn't mean that, everything you pray to God is going to come to light. And sometimes that's a really hard pill to swallow. It's very disheartening sometimes, depending on what we're praying for, because sometimes our desires are so strong for, said prayer that sometimes we can't even hear God in it because we're focused so heavily on that desire, that prayer. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're human beings. We're made to be emotional. But what do? The only thing that you can do, and for me, there's different scriptures. Prayers for peace that surpasses all understanding. Sometimes all we can do is surrender to whatever God's will may be for us. That's not an easy thing to accept, but sometimes, even when we don't see our prayers answered, just having that peace overcome us about that situation in our lives, about whatever it is that we're praying for when we don't see that come to pass. Having that peace come into our hearts and in our minds sometimes is the only recourse, if you will. Sometimes it's the only comfort that can help us when we see that our prayers go unanswered. Thank you so much for stopping by.